Dear Journal, there is an area that I often drive through or around but never actually stop in, and that is this area to the northeast of Philadelphia, where I'm letting the unholy combination of geocaches and Wikipedia articles guide, entertain, and educate me for the day, starting at Evansburg State Park. Stop me if you've heard this before, but I am a sucker for wooded waterside trails. Give me a good stick and a hammock, and I could spend the day here, but I'm trying to not just go for caches in wooded areas. However, I am interested in scoping out this compact disc exchange cache here and leaving a mix of my own.
Oh, I cannot tell what that is. Oh. Skimbosh's Mix #1 with some of my favorites on here. Little Harry Connick Jr. Are you kidding me? It just won't fit in there? Well, that's just great. Harry Connick Jr. Erasure. Put some Prince. A lot of people don't like the Batman soundtrack. But that song Electric Chair. If you don't really love me. I had to buy 10 of these CDs to burn these. It was quite a mess. I had to get the external burner out.
Yes, the good old external burner whose tray doesn't eject anymore but can still burn CDs. You just gotta use a paperclip to open it. You kids don't know the fun you're missing with this technology. I don't even know anyone with a CD player still, and frankly I don't think this little mix here will last too long before it absorbs some ambient moisture. I don't think this is the original cache container.
Well, that's gonna suck. I give that about a month before it's unplayable. So you're coming down the trail, right? Coming back out into the parking lot. Oh, what's this sign about? Hornets? This seems... Danger in tree above. This seems like a bit of an overreaction. Anyway.
Next up is a cache called Excalibur, in what I am presuming is the CO's neighborhood. It's the exact kind of suburban neighborhood that I imagine would call the police on a suspicious vehicle where the man got out of the car and went directly into this little patch of woods, but I'm white. I'm only attempting this cache because I think it's one of those sword in the stone caches that operate like a tube maze where you have to finagle it out by rotating it this way and that.
Looks as good as any.
You know, I never knew Excalibur's scabbard was also magical, preventing the bearer from bleeding. Upon reading that, I immediately imagined a scenario where Arthur gets all sorts of fatal slashes in battle, but he doesn't die. Then, while he's sleeping, his squire, not knowing any better, takes his scabbard down to the stream to clean it and moves it outside the area of effect, as per 2nd edition AD&D rules. And suddenly, Arthur erupts in a bloody mess in his tent. Maybe like Johnny Depp towards the end of Nightmare on Elm Street. You know what clip I'm talking about that I'm not putting in here. If you are a geocacher, you will perhaps see that I am committing 3 sins. 1, I have a preconceived notion of what the cache is, possibly blinding me to other ideas. 2, I'm not putting my phone down. I'm pretty much at ground zero, and as an experienced geocacher, I should know to just put the device away and focus on the search. 3, well, 3 is actually a crime against humanity and a sin against God and nature itself, so I'm gonna gloss over that one.
Oh, Excalibur. Well, that's pretty wild.
Yeah, I'm trying to disguise my disappointment. You know, some kid put out a cache and I don't want to be a dick, but I was just looking forward to the sword in the stone kind of thing. Solid find though. Actually, in the off chance that the CO happens to see this, and you're not a child, sorry if I offended you. I like your little plastic sword. My next stop, Collegeville, which is made entirely out of red plastic cups and half kegs, is actually a mere speed bump in my journey, but that didn't stop me from wikiing it up at the sight of a cache that has some favorite points.
Journal, it is 10 after 10. I'm here in Collegeville, right near Collegeville, for my first DNF of the day. It's also the birthplace of the Bloodhound Gang, known for their ability to take sexual lyrics and make them really sound goofy. This is not the cache. I really wish it was. Hello.
Is it me, or does it look like there was a domestic dispute in there? Like one of the fairy folk got drunk and started knocking over furniture. Hey, fairy, I'll show you, fairy. How about I break this chair over your wings? Don't worry, I'm like 40% pixie Italian, so it's okay if I make that joke. Leave a like and comment for more.
But alas, DNF.
Hey Journal, you know who went to school in Collegeville? J.D. Salinger, famous for that book about hearing lyrics wrong. I used this as a parenting technique when my son was young and I wanted to listen to Smack My Bitch Up by Prodigy, but the first few times I played it, I would sing really loudly, "Take my picture, snap my picture," to mask the profanity and to influence him, and subsequently, he would sing it that way as well, and I believe to this day he still thinks those are the lyrics. If a body met a body coming through the rye, indeed. In this college-educated nature preserve, there are 2 caches which I am interested in. I've cached over the years in PA and New Jersey and have been to my fair share of old mills, farmhouses, and ice houses, and spring houses and such, and for once, it actually smells really nice and not like an underwater fart. It smells like fresh linen, like the kiss of spring, which is odd. Oh no, wait, there's a fabric softener sheet stuck in my collar. If you're not in the know, these quaint little spring houses were to protect and cover the water source, and if you look up spring houses in Wikipedia, look at that. Spring house in Collegeville, PA. That's where I'm at. On the other side of the preserve is the now classic water riser cache, this one being named Aqualung because the CO likes Jethro Tull, and after I smeared my greasy fingers on my shabby clothes, I braved the tick habitat to get to the pole that needed a drink. If you're not familiar with this style cache, then tough. Nah, just kidding. But you need to pour water in to make the cache rise to the top. It's that simple. For added fun, the CO drilled a hole in the bottom. I plugged up the release hole with some trusty blue tack, mine is gray for some reason, and when I looked that up, I found out that people also asked, is it okay to chew? Surprisingly, yes. Is it safe to use as earplugs? Survey says, what? That's crazy. I'm still going to go ahead and personally advocate not using blue tack for any of your human orifices. Anyway, I plugged up that hole and used some local trash, yes, I took it back to the car with me after, to fill up the tube with water and be one with nature at the same time.
Yeah, you fucking whore! Fuck you. Fuck off.
Yeah, you really showed nature who's boss there, didn't you? Maybe I should call this cache Slipstream. It's a Jethro Tull song if you don't know. Another cache led me to what some might call a roadside attraction, a big old mound of floral arrangements at the flower store. I used to own a flower store until my power plant went down. No? Okay. I love that job, though. A bunch. Alright, I'm stopping. The cache name is Flower Power for obvious reasons, but that Ginsbergian phrase from the 60s and 70s conjures images of hippies inserting flowers in soldiers' guns, and this image just makes my palms sweat, especially from an American in 2024 standpoint. Just get away from the barrel, kid Christ. I know, this is a geocaching vlog. Let's just look at the view from the top.
Oh. Boo. Closed. Alright, let's go get the cache.
Turns out the CO got permission to put the small or micro cache in the tunnel somewhere. The coordinates lead you to the entrance, and it is a mystery what part of the tunnel it's in. I spent some time farting about in that passageway, and I don't just mean that in a loosely descriptive way, wink wink fart fart. And I don't know how it is with other geocachers, but I can't search for too long in a public area before I feel like I stand out, well, like a green thumb. I was getting in people's way, trying to use my phone's light instead of an attention-grabbing regular flashlight, and I'm pretty sure I would look like a serial killer if I put on some gloves in here, so sadly I have to bail, but maybe I can come back a less popular time. For now, I ran with my antenna between my legs to satisfy my bad habit of only going for caches in wooded areas.
The Peryan Creek, home of the Peryan fish. This creek was made popular by Hall & Oates and their song Peryan, which I've never heard before, but I imagine it goes a little like this. Peryan, Peryan, perk. Probably not. I only know one song by Hall & Oates. You make my dreams come true. That one.
I would like to note that I did not intend for this to be a music-esque entry, that's just how things evolved. Life's a long song, yeah? I would also like to note, C sharp. Anyway, the multicache here gave up some decent geocrack. The description boasts a good view, however I suspect it was placed in the late fall or winter when the view on top of the hill was a bit more viewy. And yes, from your viewpoint I probably need to look up some synonyms for the word view. Spoilers ahead!
Man, I was going nuts looking all around here, turning up all these stones, going in all these crevices. I pull out this stick, I'm looking in there, and then lo and behold, it's actually printed on the end of the stick. Journal near stage 2 here. Bit more of a view, I guess. Looking down onto the loveliness. I'm sure it's quite remarkable in the fall or winter. I do love this sign. That's how I sound when I fall off my bike. Nobody that isn't a geocacher is going to think that's anything different. That's how you do it. Thank God for really accurate coordinates. That would have drove me crazy. But I didn't find anything here, unless they wouldn't be so bold as to put it in this concrete right by the disc golf, would they? Or why didn't I search that first? Well, live and learn.
Yeah, I learned to check the obvious spots, not think, oh, they wouldn't put it there, that's too obvious, because sometimes obvious is the way to go, obviously. I was getting hungry and decided to eat at a place called Snoozy's, located in Shwenksville. I just like saying that. Shwenksville, Schwenk. I feel like that should be a sports term. Johnson breaks left, there's the toss, here comes Dallas with the schwenk, multiple flags are thrown. Apparently Schwenksville main claim to fame is that it is close to the area that hosts the Philadelphia Folk Festival, which, for some reason, is not hosted in Philadelphia. I didn't take any pictures inside Snoozy's, but I ate an omelet and hash browns and subsequently didn't want to do anything afterwards because I developed a case of postprandial somnolence. That's the highfalutin name for a food coma, and I guess I can't complain, the place is called Snoozy's. Snoozy's in Schwenksville.
Oh man, I do not feel like doing the whole information to get coordinates right now. God, I'm so stuffed. If I don't start walking, I'm gonna fall over. There's a flower called sneezeweed. That's kind of funny. Don't smoke the sneezeweed.
Achoo! That was my best fake sneeze in 14 takes. Yeah, that multicache requires looking things up and reading, and what I need to do is walk, which I did towards a cache, but I ended up using my allotted time searching a nearby off-trail area that caught my attention. I'm cursed, you see. I can't help but search around these areas. Anyone that plays video games knows you should always search these little areas for interesting things. Medcats and ammo. Medkits and ammo, not medcats. Well, meow, what seems to be the problem? Med kits or ammo? Anyway, I found the latter, and unlike video games, however, I can't fit it into my inventory. Real life is just a real frickin' ripoff, you know that? What a waste of 25 minutes. I gotta go. With the DNFs racking up, I headed to a cache with some favorite points, but the real draw is that the town is called Limerick, named after the original Limerick in Ireland, which has been around since 900 AD, probably earlier. And that's fascinating to me because, you know, if you ignore thousands of years of Native Americans and Paleo-Indians, then people have only been living in America for a couple hundred freedom units. So the concept of a town like Limerick that's been around for so long is worth looking into, but instead, I'll just recite to you my favorite dirty limerick. It's really dirty. If you were, for some reason, sitting in a room with a young child, now is the time to stop the video or remove the child. Wait, what am I doing? It's my video. I suggest getting rid of the child. And now the limerick, which again, I am reciting in the town of Limerick, so this is some advanced power-up limerick in action here.
The guy that founded it, named it after Limerick Island. I'm going to share with you one of my favorite limericks. There once was a hooker named Alice who used dynamite sticks for a phallus. They found her vagina in South Carolina and bits of her tits fell on Dallas. Sorry. I'll go find that cache now.
Yes, the cache was named The Brain, and I wasn't able to glean any clues as to why from the log, so I proceeded with a very meticulous and stealthy search since it was right off the trail.
Oh dear, oh god, oh god. What the hell, man? Oh, I guess that kind of looks like a brain, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a piece of wood that naturally looks like a brain. It's very weird. You know, there's a theory in Nature Reviews Neuroscience that the brain learns to forget less relevant memories because it allows people to interact more flexibly with the environment. Ho, flexibly with the environment, that's me!
Oh dear, oh god. God, you fucking whore! Fuck off this.
Well then, in light of the musical nature of this entry, allow me to say the sun is beating down on my baseball hat, the air is getting hot, the beer is getting flat, so I got back in my car and followed the favorite points to a cache called the Toolbox, stashed behind this shopping center. The concept being, somewhere amongst all these tools is the log. Find the log to sign and claim the find. This article says, the hammer is the most versatile tool in any toolbox. I say, it's your imagination. I know when something is broken, I imagine someone else fixing it, and then I bring my imagination to life via giving a contractor money. Possibly too much. Anyway, I have tools, I'm just not going anywhere with them, so I don't need a toolbox. I just leave them where I used them last, in the basement by the unfinished combination fire exit / sex dungeon. Being a somewhat experienced geocacher, I knew that it was possible that the log was actually the tape measure itself, and I was right, so and I made quick work of it because, well, it smells really bad back here. I wish I still had that fabric softener, and I was a little torn up from the sharp flora, so I left with some extreme prejudice.
Hold off, I'm walking here.
Well, that's all the caching and Wikipedia I'm doing for now. I have to drive an hour or so just to get home and mow the lawn. What a world. Let's end with another limerick. Hope you didn't let the kids back in the room. 3, 2, 1. There once was a young sailor from Brighton who said to his girl, "You're a tight one." She replied, "Bless my soul, you're in the wrong hole. There's plenty of room in the right one." Be safe out there, Journal.